Hello and good evening to America. Today we are going to discuss the nature of this world. We are offered this amazing physical world and different institutions like the philosophy institution and religious institutions and science institutions. They all are trying to understand the nature of this world. How does this world exist? And there are many, many theories. Some might say someone created this world, someone has a theory of Big Bang. So there are theories. If you ask them, are you sure? An answer will be, don't know. And that's why there are many ideas in this and many theories. Applies to a whole range of theories and the professionals. So for science, they may have amazing theories, but are you sure? Is this the way it exists? The answer is don't know. In the mix of these things, we are going to suggest one more paradigm, another model to understand this physical world. And we called it the model of a film. Any model has power, to be considered further if it can explain observed phenomena. And this is in science. Someone may propose a theory, but does it explain various things that are observed? And if it has more explanations, that is a more powerful theory. So here the proposal is we are dealing with a film. So right now Prashant is talking here and you are watching. This is a film going on. It appears like a film, of course. You are watching on a device. But I am meaning this physical world itself is a three-dimensional film. If you just look out of the window and if you are seeing houses and the trees and human beings, you are really watching a film. Three-dimensional film. Other film that you are watching, and let us use the example of James Bond film. You are watching a James Bond film that is on a little screen, maybe a few meters wide. Here, the screen is big. The whole entire physical universe is part of this screen. And you are watching these hundreds and thousands, millions of characters. And who is watching this? The invisible observer is watching this. And he is not part of this film. Invisible observer has his own reality beyond. In his world is timeless. Film has a beginning and an end. And you are watching the film, with that awareness. And film may change. The film has got cut phenomena. One episode finishes, everything changes. But the observer is not part of the film. Observer is absolutely safe. In the film, the dragons come and dragons go. It is harmless for the observer. He is beyond harm. On the contrary, he finds it amusing. King comes, that is amusing. King Kong comes, that is also amusing for the observer, invisible observer. So this is a proposal in this model. So we all exist right now as invisible observers. If you think you are the body, that is the confusion part of it. It is we are drawn into this film ourselves. And that is why the spiritual effort for us to step back and understand our complete independence from the film. There are many, all spiritual institutions, they emphasize, detachment and stepping back. But they might not realize we have to step back to such an extent that you step out of the film. But that is when the fun starts. And you enjoy the film for what it is. You are also now connected to your world beyond the film. When we were drawn into the film, into such a delusion, we lost our real world. Now you are discovering the real world. Now let us ask the question, does this look like a film? And on what ground we call it a film? I'll come with the medical argument there also, but let me tell a little bit behind a film. When you are watching a film in a theater, what you are really watching are independent slides. And these slides, if they are projected at a certain speed, something within you, your mind, consciousness, complex, it gives continuity to this film, to these slides. They don't appear separate slides. So if they are projected at a speed less than 8 per second, then you can see they are separate slides. But if you show the slides at a faster speed than that, then you give continuity to this. Most of the films that we watch in the theaters, they are projected at a speed of 21 slides per second. But they are independent slides, and you give continuity. So what we are saying here in this model, what we are seeing here are slides. And the slides are projected. In other words, we are passing through this world of slides, these observers, at a certain speed. And we give continuity to this. And it appears it is the same world. But if we were to go behind, we'll realize that there are many slides there. And these slides are independent. The most important is that observer, the life is in the audience. Life is not on the screen. When we are confused and attached, we give life to the screen. And we don't realize that on the screen, there are just images. No one is born there, no one dies there. These are just images. The life is in the audience, in this model of the film. Now, is there any ground in believing that is our slides? And the answer is yes. Lots of our observations in the science world, which can be put under the label of poltergeist or psychic phenomena or a whole department of miracles. It is these phenomena and these observations are embarrassment for science, our mainline science, because we don't have explanation for this. the clairvoyant and those who can tell you the future in exact detail, it is like embarrassment for science. Not to accept that something that is going to happen in 5 years' time, 2 years' time, 2 minutes' time, there are people who can tell you in exact detail. And how does that happen? By the thinking of science, permutation, combination of billions and billions of possibilities, but they can tell you exact color, exact shape, exact detail. Let us take the example of poltergeist and miracles. And there are people who can just create things. And these are not tricks. Under science and experimental conditions, miracles are seen to happen. Things appear and disappear, without any obvious explanation. How does that happen? If it is matter, then there should be explanation. When you are understanding the film, then you realize that this world is not a continuous world. There are slides. And in a film, suddenly new slides come, new episode starts. If there is continuity that we see, it is apparent. It is not inherent. Film is like this. You might see some run of slides. There are the same character you are seeing for a while, but suddenly you see a completely different scene and you accept it because the slides are different run of slides. Same thing happens in our lives here on a small level, and we all have observed this. There's no explanation, but in time we sort of ignore it and get on with our lives. These are like the tiny cut phenomena that are going on, and it is ordinarily there is no explanation to this. When you understand the film, you can understand. Also, premonition, seeing the future, what is happening there. Those who can fast forward, if they have the ability to go a little bit further forward and see what is happening there, come and tell you what is going to happen, then they can tell you. Maybe some have this power, but film is already there. The whole reel is there. Our journey, whatever the journey of this world. In this model, the film is there, and we are just observers of this film. But this brings another philosophical question. Since that is the film, it exists in that fictional level. For example, if you are watching 2 tons of gold on the screen, that's the image you are watching. There is no gold there. The image is there, but there is no gold. Next slide will come, and then there is that gold has gone. Something else emerges on the screen. At the end of the film, there is nothing. In our present model, we may be deceived, heavily deceived, in believing that we have got people, position, possessions at this level. And we are clinging to things that exist as images, not real. But the real exists beyond the film. If you step back, then you are into the real world. That is where the real family is, not on the screen. And so we have the option here to step back and become more sensible. That is all. coming out of this childish delusion where you are living in the story, stepping back, understand the nature, fictional nature of the film. Grand, amazing entertainment, but it is empty. And your real world is behind. That is where your true family is and your true treasures are. You are not deceived. And if you are not deceived, then you are useful to others. You are useful to yourselves.